we are given these two equations, that says 2x minus y equal to 4, and then x plus y, and that is equal to 5, right? So we want to solve this equation. So there are two. Now the method that we are going to use here is by what? Elimination method. That is what we are going to use in this video. Is that okay? So this is solely under what? Simultaneous equation. Now your question you should be asking yourself is that who should go? That is the point here, right? Who should vanish? What I mean by that is that we have two variables here, that's the x and y. Who are you going to eliminate? So the English name of, or the meaning of behind this word is that one person should vanish, or you should not exist again. Now let's say I say x is equal to 2. This is just a straightforward answer, right? There's no need for you to do anything. Now what will happen if you replace this x here by the price of maybe let's say iPhone, right? So the price of iPhone, is that okay? So the price of iPhone is just a $2, 2 cedis, 2 naira, £2, and so on and so forth, right? So where you are watching this from, so you can just replace this in by your currency. Now for the idea is that you can easily see exactly what is happening instead of you working with what a variables, that is what the x, y, and so on and so forth. And this is good. The s is going to be the price of the iPhone. And then what about the y? So if this is iPhone, right? So this is going to be an iPhone. So iPhone here. And then let's say this is an airport, right? So let's say this is an airport, right? So the y is going to be an airport, and then the x is going to be an iPhone. So the combinations of the two, let's say you are buying the two in this case. So buying the two will cost you just an amount of $5, right? So that is very, very simple. Now the key here, the reason why we are using the simultaneous equation is that there are two things happening. So let's say this is going to be the day one. So you bought two of the iPhone, then maybe you change your mind that you are not going to buy the airpod again, right? So they have to deduct that money from this thing, and then you have to pay an amount of $4, right? So that's very, very simple. These are the two things that you perform at a shop, right? So maybe that is a gadget shop and so on and so forth. But here, what is the price of one, right? So that is the key here. That's the most important thing, idea behind was substitution. So one method is the elimination, right? So what is the price of one? So once you have the price of the one, you can easily determine the price of the other one, right? So the way of solving these two equations is what? By the simultaneous equation. So one method is elimination. Let's see how to use the elimination method. Our aim here is to make sure that one person does not exist, right? So once we have the price of one item, we can easily find the price of the other one. So the key here is that anything that you can do is accepted once it is on point. So what I mean by that is that what can I do among these two equations so that one variable will vanish, right? So one item does not exist, right? So here what will happen if we add these two equations? So adding the two equations, right? So adding the equations, right? So adding the equations, right? So adding this equation, you have 2x and then minus y, that is equal to 4, and then we have the s plus or plus y, that is going to be equal to 5. So we are adding the two equations together. The addition is very, very simple and straightforward. So the key here is that why are we adding? We are adding because we want one variable should vanish. Is that okay? So here straightforward, 4 plus 5, that should be 9. So we have our equal to sign here. So here we have a negative y plus y. So this is just as saying like negative 1 plus or 1. That is exactly equal to 0, right? So here we're going to be 0. So plus, what do you have here? So 2 plus 1, right? So that's going to be 3x. So you have a 3x here, that is equal to 9. Is that okay? So here, this is something we know how to solve. Here we are going to divide both sides by 3 and then divide here by 3. So we had our x to be equal to 3 again, right? So this is a straightforward answer. So obviously once we add the two equations, this guy is going to vanish. So in our case here, that's the iPod, right? So we've been assuming that we don't know the price of this iPod. So the price of the phone that we bought was just $3. Is that okay? So $3. Once we know that one item costs us $3, we can easily determine the values of the other one. So what are we going to do? This is very simple and straightforward. So we are going to pick this $3 here. So x is equal to $3, right? So pick this $3 and plug that either this or that. right? So any one is what accepted. So the simplest one is what you must go for, right? So substitute that inside this equation. So I don't want to stretch myself because I can see some 2x minus y and so on. So I don't want to work with this thing here. So I'm going for the simple one, that is the x plus y, that is equal to 5. So we know that this x is going to be 3, right? So x is equal to 3 plus what my y, that is equal to 5. So we can easily solve this, and so we have our y to be equal to 5 and then minus 3. So that is going to be equal to 2. Yeah, this is obvious. So 3 plus 2, yeah, that is equal to 5, right? So you can decide to plug those two values here into the first equation and see if that equation also hold, right? Is that okay? So this is one key about what elimination. Now from here you can see that we just add these two equations, then one variable vanish. What will happen if you add these two equations or you subtract them and then one variable does not vanish? So let's see the next question. So these are our beautiful two equations. That's the 2x minus y equal to 10, and then we have the x plus 3, and that is equal to 5. Now here you can see straightforward that either we add or subtract this equation, none of the variable is going to vanish, right? Is that okay? So maybe someone can do a magic in the comment section, but say that if you add these two people or you subtract these two equations, one variable will vanish. I don't think so, right? So how do we tackle this question here? Now our aim here is to make sure that one variable does not exist, right? So that's the simple concept behind what elimination. We want to eliminate that variable. Now as a stand here, the step is to either multiply, right? So you multiply one of the equation, right? So you have your first step here is to make sure that you must choose the variable that you want to eliminate. So is it the x that you want to eliminate or the y that you want to eliminate? So you have to make sure that strictly you are going for one variable, right? If you want to eliminate the x here, now way back here, if you say 2 minus 2, that is going to be equal to 0, and then here we also have a 3 here. This is a positive, this is a negative. So what will happen if you have negative 3 plus what another 3, that is also equal to 0. So now you have to choose, right? So the choice is yours. Which variable do you want to eliminate, right? So you have to choose. So if you want to eliminate the 2, meaning that you are going to multiply everything here by what? If you want to eliminate the x, right, you are going to multiply everything here by 2. Or if you want to eliminate the y, you have to multiply everything here by what? By 3. Is that okay? So which one? The choice is yours. Once you're able to do that multiplication or that choice here, you are free to go. So what will happen if you multiply equation 1, right? So let's say this is annual equation 1. Should I go for equation 1? So maybe let's say you want to multiply equation 1, right? Or maybe I'll go for equation 2. Anyone is what? Accepted, right? So equation 2 by what? By 2, right? So going for equation 2 by 2. Or someone can go for the equation 1, right? So anyone, equation 1 by what? By 3. So that's why I'm saying that you have to know the variables that you want to eliminate. So what this thing means here is that equation 1 here by what? By 3, meaning that we have this is the equation 1, right? So this is the equation 1, that is equal to 10. So multiplying by 3, meaning that we are going to multiply everything by what? By 3. So that's going to be 6s, and then minus what? 3y, and then equal to what? This guy multiplied by 3, that's going to be 30, right? So 30. So once you have this equation, this is going to be our new equation, right? So this is going to be our new equation from here. So in addition to the second one, that is the x plus 3y equal to 5. So these are the two equations that we are going to deal with. Now here we can see clearly that if you add these two equations, one person has to vanish, right? So that's very simple and straight. So adding this from here, that will give us 7s, and then this guy plus that should be equal to 0, right? So plus 0, and then everything that's going to be a 35, right? We know what to do. So we have the 7s that is equal to 35 divided here by 7, and then divided here by 7, and have your s to be equal to 5. Is that okay? So what do you do with this 5? You pick the 5. Now look at something. This is very important here. So look at something. Now if you have this x here, you are not going to pick this x and plug that inside this equation that we expanded, right? So don't do that. Don't do that. So my simple advice here is that once you have this thing, go and plug that inside of the second what equation and have your answer down. Right, so this is very straightforward. So we have the s here to be 5, so that's 5 plus 3y, that is equal to 5, and then we are going to solve for the values of the y. So what do you do here? We have 3y, and that is going to be equal to 5 minus 5, right? So we are subtracting 5 from both sides. That should be 5 minus 5. That is a 3y equal to 0, and then we have our y to be equal to 0. Right, so y equal to 0, s is equal to 3. That was I think that holds, right? So you may check that if you replace it by 0 and then replace it by 5, it's okay. So what will happen in this case if you replace it by 5 and then here by 0? Is that also true? Yes. Obviously 2 multiplied by 5, that should be 10, minus 0 equal to 10, and then here is going to be 5, and then plus 0, that's also equal to 5. Right, if you gain some value from this video, why don't you subscribe to the channel or comment down below if you want us to solve any question relating to substitution or under simultaneous equation. Thank you for watching.